It's Friday the 12th of October. Craig Mack from GymLink Australia and What's New Fitness Magazine. I'm here with Paul Byrne, the Global President of Precor. Paul,
right.
Lovely to meet you.
Love you to meet you.
We're here today at the launch of Preva in Hilton in Pitt Street in Sydney, where the first installation is just downstairs at the Living Well Health Club here as part of the Hilton. Paul, look, first of all, wanted to thank you for your time, because I know you're a very busy man over the next couple of days especially. And you did mention a bit of this earlier on, but over the last 25 years, long time, not enough time to answer fully, but nonetheless, how do you see how Precor has actually evolved and adapted to the industry changes, and how that inevitably has actually had an effect on the business?
How much time do we have to talk about 25 years?
90 seconds.
Okay.
Look, I mean, you did cover some of this earlier on.
Yeah. Well, I think there are a couple of sort of salient factors. I think one is that we've done a reasonable job tracking the baby boom that really started this industry. So if you look at companies that were in early on, it's when baby boomers were young and were doing really difficult kinds of workouts, right? Like our first product was a rowing machine, very, very, very tough workout, but that's what young people wanted. I think that's why Stairmaster did so well in those years. People wanted, I think they called it the workout of your life, right? But companies that didn't keep up with the changing baby boom, who over time wanted products that were more suitable as they age. For instance, I think one of the best decisions we ever made was when we looked at the elliptical, we said, this is what baby boomers are going to want, because their knees are starting to hurt, their backs are hurting, they need low impact. Low impact is going to be more and more important. That took us to a whole nother level. And I think now, understanding that technology is going to play a bigger role in delivering great benefits to people, that's something that we've gotten in on early. We understand it can help. And I think it's become a bigger and bigger portion of how fitness is delivered in the future.
I think what's really quite incredible is you started off with that one rowing machine.
Yeah.
And that was really quite amazing. But I mean, technology, you mentioned it, so there's just an ever-increasing use of iPhones, smartphones, tablets, iPads. Yeah. How do you see that's changed the actual product development? I mean, there's a really good example in Preva, I suppose, but from your overall perspective of how things are right now and where they're moving in the future, so that mobile technology, that interaction, has that changed a lot of the production, the thought process, as well as the actual the hardware and software that's coming out of the factory?
The mobile phone itself has not. I mean, other than the fact that we want to interface with it. But the mobile phone has, in the sense that if you go to the Apple App Store, for instance, there are literally hundreds of fitness apps. And so the good thing there is people are more aware of what technology can do to help them achieve their fitness goals. But if you look at how those apps have been delivered, there hasn't been one that's really been successful, right? So from our perspective, we look at it and say the mobile phone or companies, and Apple in particular, are helping people to become more aware that this can help them achieve their fitness goals. But by the same token, we look at it and say that we're in a unique position that we understand what people need in those apps to become successful. So things like ease of use are very, very critical. I think that if there's any boundary to using the technology, people won't use it. For instance, if I have to enter every single workout, forget it. If I have to enter everything I ate, forget it. If I have to plug it into my computer when I'm done, forget it. It's got to be completely seamless. So in order for it to be seamless, you have to control as much of that ecosystem as you possibly can. And that's why we've made such a big investment. We're not arrogant enough to think that we can control it all, nor do we want to. But we have to control the critical touch points, and that's how we're approaching it.
Do you see that as one of the major differentiations between what's out there currently and the launch of Preva? I mean, is that a major differentiation between your product and everything else that's out there?
Well, it's huge. I mean, there's nobody doing what we're doing with Preva. Nobody close. We have some competitors who are trying to do similar types of things. But the way we've approached it with PrevaNet, this whole concept of fitness is foremost, that we're enabling people to watch TV or consume information on the internet by, as I just mentioned, pulling these barriers down. All you have to do is press a button and swipe. There's no typing. It's very, very, very simple, and it's geared to people to use while they're working out. And nobody's doing anything remotely close right now.
What would you say to the business owners that are at the stage of considering, this type of technology or upgrade to what currently go? How do you think that they should approach that thought process and take into consideration something that's as technologically advanced? Let's just say that, but it's still simple to use.
Right.
How do you think the business owner should approach that situation with bearing in mind, the key points which is important to them in the business, which is retaining members and increasing membership itself? What would you say to the business owners considering that situation, and how would it fit with you guys, in particular the Preva?
What we're doing? Well, I think first thing I tell them to do is learn as much as they could possibly learn. Do a ton of homework, because technology as an enabler of not only the fitness industry businesses, club owners, but all businesses is here to stay. And I think a CEO or an executive that doesn't understand how that can help them is going to be at a great disadvantage. So I think understanding would be the first order of business. That way you can ask, I think, the right questions. But if you look at the reason we got into this in the first place, as I said earlier in my talk, I don't think we've delivered what people really want when they walk in a club. They walk into a club because they have a dream, and that dream is, I want to lose weight, I want to play with my kids, I want to ski better, I want to golf better. It's something like that. They didn't just walk into the club for the hell of it. And what ended up happening is they get in there and they don't know what to do. They really don't know what to do. They hit quick start and they do the same thing every day. Now, if they're lucky enough to have a personal trainer and they can afford it, maybe they can reach their goals. So we think technology can enable people to get down that path the right way. And especially, as you know, in those first, that first month to 6 weeks, if all the right things happen, they'll stay. So that would be the message to the club owner. If we do this right together, we're going to increase retention. That's the number one thing. And the goal at Precor is to increase retention and make the pie bigger. Because if you look in most countries, the percentage of people that work out today, it's the same as it was 10 years ago. So if we can take it from whatever it is, let's say it's 14% to 18 or 20%, those are all new customers for everybody, right? And plus we're doing something positive, right? So that's how I think technology enters into the equation.
So that it's really that end user experience, isn't it? Yeah. That's what gets people
exactly
to not only enjoy the workouts but come back time and time again. That's and I suppose from a club operator myself, it's that engagement that you've got with your members, which I suppose would probably give you that competitive edge. And spending the last 3-4 hours here listening to you guys about the new product, the Preva Net, and what it can do for your business, the opportunity for the club, the owner, the operators to turn it into a cost center as well, which is that's music to their ears. Not only have they got this technology which is engaging and a great experience for the users, it's giving the club just that a little bit of an edge, and right down to the maintenance and the servicing of the equipment.
Right.
It's quite fantastic.
And so we've tried to look at that from every angle. I mean, if you look at the end user angle, what do people do when they walk into a club? They usually do one of 3 things, right? They listen to music, they watch TV, or they read. That's usually it. And they'd like an underlying program that's going to get them to where they want to be, but they want some level of distraction. So technology enables you to do all 3 of those things really, really well, right? Better than any other product that's ever been out there. But with PrevaNet, the beautiful thing, as you just alluded to, is there's a whole suite of capabilities in terms of monitoring what's going on with the product behind the scenes to help the club owner invest in his assets more wisely, be able maybe to deliver messages to improve his bottom line, get additional ancillary revenue. If you're so inclined, you may want to do some advertising to those people. So it opens up a whole new world of revenue generating possibilities as well to the club owner. So there's never been a kind of a suite of products before that's been able to do this.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed it. Speak to your local Precor representative for more information about the Precor Net. It's been a pleasure, and again, Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Very much.